Issues in social and economic development of the Old Eastern region and refocusing the media towards development journalism were on the front burner at a just concluded workshop for editors and media executives at Owerri, Imo State. Signature TV correspondent Ndu Okmaleze also reports that the many woes of state-owned newspapers came under focus with survival strategies exposed.
A former managing editor of Sun newspapers, Tony Onyema, after identifying poor government funding, inefficient management, and undue government interference as bogging down the government-owned newspapers, advocated what he called creative disruptions in their business models. Onyema said governments of the Southeast and South-South states should co-opt professional media managers as equity investors as a way of salvaging the accumulators' situation, adding that total digital migration holds the key to their survival.
The strategy of online is totally different from this. If you go and check New York Times. New York Times is always my model because in 19 words, I decided instead of paying ticket to go to America to look at skyscrapers, one of those my vacations, I just wrote to them, they agreed. I went there and worked with them for 2 weeks. I was shocked. I came back totally diminished that we are not doing anything yet. Today, New York Times migrated. They are making so much money online than they were doing previously. I subscribe to New York Times on phone. From my phone here, I will read it. And you pay. They give you window of 1 week or 2 weeks free. And those ones they give free, the way they will supply you with quality content. After reading it, you test it and you get hooked. It's like giving a small boy a lollipop.
In her paper, another media manager from Rivers State, Ibn Semanitari, criticized the overdependence on oil revenue by most governments in the Southeast and South-South states and called for a return to the development blueprint of the old Eastern region. Ibn, who was represented by Ikechukwu Amechi, regretted that insecurity and unpatriotic running of states have left most lofty ideas unrealized for many decades.
Despite multiple promises, the coastal rail line and road remain incomplete, undermining regional connectivity. Lessons from past development plans. The First Rolling Plan and the Eastern Nigeria Plan offer valuable lessons on how targeted interventions and regional integration can promote economic development. The Eastern Nigeria Plan's focus on agriculture and regional industrialization can inspire renewed efforts towards economic diversification.
For Professor Stella Okonna, media practitioners should employ development journalism to offer voice to the masses and hold leaders accountable on good governance principles.
I remember in our part of the world, whether it is southeast or south-south, you must begin also with advocacy. You must go to the community and locate those who are the opinion leaders, the Igwe, the Eze, the church leaders, the market leaders, what they call it, I'm sure it is 7 common name, the PG, President General, everybody, now you know next. This is part of your advocacy. Otherwise, you go in there and you commit one taboo and they'll even keep behaving.
Susan Akila of the UNICEF, in her paper titled Media Setting the Child Rights Agenda, cautioned against inappropriate exposure of children in the media. Susan, whose paper was presented by Ijeoma Onohogwe, said the United Nations has zero tolerance for sexualized images of children, adding that wherever they appear, their liberty to free expression should be respected.
All journalists and media professionals have a duty to maintain the highest ethical and professional standards and should promote within the industry the widest possible dissemination of information about International Convention on the Rights of the Child and its implications for the exercise of independent journalism. Media organizations should regard violation of the rights of the child and issues related to children's safety, privacy, security, their education, health, and social welfare and all forms of exploitations, all forms, all.
Earlier, the president of Nigeria Guild of Editors, Eze Anaba, had reiterated his call on development partners to focus more attention on the myriad of challenges in the Southeast and South-South geopolitical zones, adding that insecurity and non-delivery of democracy dividends render the inhabitants most vulnerable. Juliet Chuliwe, in charge of UNICEF Enugu office, however, explained that UNICEF interventions are data-driven. The Owerri 2-day capacity-building workshop for editors and media executives was facilitated by the Nigerian Guild of Editors in collaboration with UNICEF and the Imo State government. Ndo Opaleze, Signature TV News.